Hello, Chicago Network is on the air. Hello, everybody. I am Ryan Yanishad. It's time to focus, and today we're focusing on the MLB free agent pool as things wrapped up this week in Dallas, Texas. It was the MLB winter meetings where all the players and teams, and this is where most of the work gets done in Major League Baseball in the offseason, and a lot of work did get done. Let's first start with the free agent pool. We did it. I gave you 20 players. I told you where they were going to go, and let's talk about it right now. Blake Snell, I had going to the Cubs. He signs with the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are becoming that team from the early 2000s, the Yankees, George Steinbrenner Yankees that always signed everyone. That's who the Dodgers are turning into. They get Blake Snell. Shane Bieber, I had going to the Texas Rangers. He signs back with the Cleveland Guardians. Willie Adames, I had him going to the Guardians. I thought he would have been a great fit there at shortstop. Here they trade him, or they don't trade him. The San Francisco Giants get him. So I'm 0 for 3. Then Juan Soto. We'll talk about him in a sec. Max Fried, I had him going to the Phillies. He goes to the Yankees. I had him going to the Phillies, going to a rival, but he goes to the New York Yankees. Why? Because the Yankees lost Juan Soto. He signs with the New York Mets. That's my second one right. I had Garrett Cole staying with the Yankees, even though he wasn't a free agent. We're counting it anyway. And then we have then we go from there to him getting the move, and then Juan Soto. It is done. So 2 and 4. I got Soto going to the Mets. 15 years, $765 million. I think in our lifetime, seeing this and where it's progressing, we are going to see our first $1 billion contract in Major League Baseball in the next 20 years. I don't know if any players that are in it right now are going to be able to get it, but you're a free agent, 26 years old, already won a World Series, lightning bat, had a great postseason, and I think he's going to be that guy. So congratulations to Juan Soto. You can bitch about the money and where Major League Baseball's at. Obviously, Major League Baseball's in a very good place to be able to sign a guy for that, and plus he gets suites and with incentives as well. That could be over an $800 million contract. So congratulations to Juan Soto. So I'm currently 2 and 5 in my free agent pool, and a lot of those guys are going to, right now the market's kind of slowed down a little bit, at least from the top free agents. We'll talk about those, of course. We'll have it in the first week of 2025. Now let's talk about all the free agent signings that have happened. Dodgers re-signed Tommy Edman. Mets signed Frankie Montas, the former Brewer pitcher. Rangers signed Kyle Higashioka, the catcher. Red Sox signed Aroldis Chapman out of the back end of the bullpen. The Athletics, first year going to be in Sacramento. They make their biggest contract signing in franchise history, and it's Luis Severino, a right-handed pitcher. And then Mets signed Clay Holmes, former closer of the Yankees. Rays signed Danny Jansen, who actually made history last season. He was a catcher. He's a catcher that a game he was playing, I believe, for the Rays or whoever he was playing for, and then the game got postponed or got stopped. They had to restart it, and he was on the other team, so he's the first ever player to be on both teams technically in one game. Jordan Romano, former Jay, signs with the Phillies. Orioles signed Tyler O'Neill, the outfielder, and Gary Sanchez. We saw Tyler O'Neill when we were in Boston, and he absolutely demolished the ball over the Green Monster. Dodgers re-signed Blake Trinan. Then one more. Dodgers re-sign Nathan Eovaldi, the starting pitcher, and Jacob Webb. Rangers, then a plethora of trades. Well, I think one was a shock. Blue Jays acquire Andres Jimenez from the Guardians. I'm a big fan of him. I thought he had a very great, nice glove at second base. I'm not exactly sure what Cleveland's doing, but that spikes things up. I've always been on the Blue Jay bandwagon of them all these years trying to be successful. Well, they haven't been there. So hopefully this will be it. And now you got Vladdy, and then you got Jimenez at second, and Bo Bichette might be in the final years of this final opportunity if Vlad lasts through the offseason. We'll see what happens, but I'm excited to see that. Like I said, Rangers acquire Jake Berger, former White Sox. They acquire him from the Marlins. Then the Yankees, this one happened Friday morning. The Yankees acquire Devin Williams from the Brewers. Brewers lose Adames. Brewers lose Devin Williams. And once again, I'm done thinking that, oh, that's it. The Brewers suck. No, Brewers did not have as good as a team on paper as the Cubs, and they went on and won the division by 10 games. Cubs got to prove something. I mean, the rest of that division, Reds have Terry Francona. I think they're going to be up there. Pirates look like they have the starting pitching, no offense, and they're looking to trade one of their top pitchers as well, besides Paul Skeens, the other one. And then the Brewers are going to be there, but the Cubs need to put up or shut up, and we're going to get to what the Cubs could be possibly doing in just a minute. Now let's get into some Chicago news. Dick Allen, former White Sox, named to the Hall of Fame. This happened last week, and I didn't know about this. Rest in peace to Bill Melton. I don't know him as a player, obviously, but he was on the pre and post on NBC Sports Chicago. My dad and I always joke, he would sit there with his legs wide open, but he had good analysis. He always sound miserable. I didn't really enjoy him because he was a White Sox guy, but still, rest in peace to Bill Melton. The White Sox do sign former Cub Mike Tauchman. I think that'll be a nice piece. Tauchman did a very interesting things with the Chicago Cubs. He was able to get some big hits, had a walk-off hit. So I think he's going to be a nice pull-in piece for them. And then also the two big moves are not a big move, but this is what I was saying about. I don't know if I said it here, but I told people, don't get excited that the number one pick in Major League Baseball. I think I did say it here, because with the draft, it's not like that. It's a lottery. So the White Sox did all that losing. They got the 10th pick. Nationals got the first pick. That's how stupid it is to go tanking like that, because you're never guaranteed anything. 10th pick. Cubs got the 17th. White Sox, with the worst record in baseball, got the 10th. So all that for nothing. Good job, Sox. And then they do trade with the dirty laundry rival of the Red Sox. They trade Garrett Crochet. Now there's an episode that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks, and we'll talk about it. It's pre-recorded already before all this, but this is one of the things I said the White Sox needed to do, and that is trade Garrett Crochet. So they're able to get some pieces back in that trade. These are the pieces. He's under control till 2026 by Boston. By the way, Brandon and I saw Garrett Crochet pitch at Fenway Park in September. So now that's at home. Wykeman Gonzalez, a pitcher, catcher Kyle Teal, infielder Chase Meadroth, and then a guy, he was on MLB Central a couple of days ago, Braden Montgomery, seems like we have his head on his shoulders, and most likely will be in the league. So they got some good, I don't know prospects. I don't care to know them until they make it to the big leagues, to be honest, because there's so many of these guys, everyone gets hung on them. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. Hung on these guys, and they fall flat. So I'm looking forward to see if these guys can do it. White Sox, hopefully this is your future. Hopefully your future of your next contending team are in those four guys. And we'll see if that's the case. For the Cubs, their moves, they do sign Matthew Boyd, lefty starter. They get rid of, obviously, Kyle Hendricks is gone, add him to the rotation. Dansby Swanson had surgery, won't miss opening day, so that's key. Get that kind of stuff out of the way. Like I said earlier, Cubs get the 17th pick. And then one other thing that's kind of sad, very upsetting news. Ryan Sandberg had prostate cancer. He was in remission. It was gone. Now it's said to be back in other places. So my thoughts and prayers with the Cubs Hall of Famer, Ryan Sandberg. Actually walked past my first year at the Cub convention. We were like, rooms were next to each other almost. Walked past him, didn't want to bother him. I know he was dealing with other fans. I'm not one of them guys to bother people when they're not being paid to do it. They're in a hotel or an airport. I'm not like that. So my best wishes go out to Ryan Sandberg. And the reason I'm actually recording, usually I do all these shows way in advance. This show I'm recording about an hour and a half before it starts, because of the fact that there's a big I was waiting to see if the trade, and then here the trade finished with the Brewers and the Yankees, but the one that's going on with the Cubs right now, and I don't see anything official, but it is expected to be 3-for-1, and that is that Kyle Tucker is going to be a Chicago Cub. They're going to trade Asok Paredes, Hayden Wesneski, and then one of their young prospects, Cam Smith. And a lot of people up in arms. I'm kind of upset about the Hayden Wesneski thing. I think he was a nice piece. He was a very good starter, but they got Kyle Tucker, who's an outfielder, which means there's going to be more done here. Cody Bellinger, odds are by the next time we do this, will probably be a New York Yankee, because the Yankees wanted Kyle Tucker as well. So I think now the Cubs try to focus on getting something back from the Yankees for Cody Bellinger, which has 1 year opt out, another year. And then we see what happens there. There's also been rumors about Cubs being on Pete Alonso. Kyle Tucker, Cubs, this is the first thing I've said. If I don't do, or if I'm not happy with this team, if I don't think they can win the Central on opening day, then I'm not going to Wrigley at all next year. This is a good start, good process, good start. So they will be getting it's not official, but everyone's reporting it. John Heyman reported it. What is it about at 1:30 that the deal is expected to be 3-for-1. Tucker for Paredes, Smith, and Wesneski. And so that looks like it's going to be the trade. It is not official, but that is the last news. And 6 seconds ago, it went through MLB Network. The Cubs are reportedly acquiring Kyle Tucker from the Astros. So that looks like it's becoming official more. So the Cubs add a bat. That's big, a lefty bat. They currently have 2. I think this team will be different by the next time we do this, the first week of January. Next week, we're not talking baseball. We got Bears. We got 2 Bears Monday and Tuesday, and then we got to see Blackhawks, and then we have the Blackhawks Bulls, and then we have college football championship. So the first week of January, I expect the next time we talk baseball for it to look very different. But hey, sign me up. The Cubs acquire Kyle Tucker. White Sox are starting to look towards the future, so things are looking up on both sides of town. And then the winter meetings are complete, but still a lot more. MLB the free agent pool got so many more, and like I said, we'll do this the first week of January when we're back from our holiday break, and a week from today we're going to talk about what we're doing. We're going to have a couple shows during our holiday break. We'll talk about that a little bit on next Friday. So everyone, that is that. But what a way to close the show with basically breaking news. Cubs acquire Kyle Tucker from the Houston Astros for Isaac Paredes, who did nothing. He was going to be here he was going to be here for like 3 years. He didn't show anything at third base offensively. So I mean, now Matt Shaw goes into that spot, and I think he's the future. Start showing these guys. And also, I said, don't be hung up on these young guys. I mean, I don't care about prospects till you get to the big leagues. More than half of them don't work out. Send them off. And if they bite you in the ass 1 out of every 100, then fine. If Cam Smith, who was a recent pick, bites you in the ass, and I know this is only a 1-year thing for Kyle Tucker. The Cubs are going to go through the same thing with him, because I believe he's a Boris guy that the Yankees just went through with Juan Soto. He could easily leave, and you're shit out of luck. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the Cubs give him that deal. We'll see how he shines. But it's a gamble, and you see the Yankees, they lost, but then they went back at it. So maybe that'll encourage the Cubs to keep doing it, or try to make a contender and make him want to stay. I think you'll fall in love with Wrigley. So everyone, what a way to close out the week in Major League Baseball. I'm feeling uplifted by the Chicago Cubs and Chicago White Sox. Hopefully there's positive things. And like I said, these teams, because Luis Robert as well, also possibly could be getting traded by the White Sox as well. So like I said, when we come back here in the first week of January, I think we're still going to have more changes on both teams. But congratulations to the Cubs for making this move. And now I think it's Bellinger that goes next, and then the White Sox, I think Luis Robert goes next. So everyone, have a great weekend. Next week, we'll start off Monday previewing the Bears, Tuesday recapping the Bears. Here's some of my holiday festivities as well next week as well. I'm Ryan Yanishadis from the Hello Chicago. Oh, before we leave, also an emotional day for me from an announcing standpoint. A show that I absolutely wrapped my life around. It's coming to an end today. Michael Kay, the voice of the New York Yankees. I started watching the show in 2014 when it came on Yes Network with Don LaGreca, and then later Peter Rosenberg come on. And I literally watched that show religiously. Even people that know me very well, I watched it all the time, almost every day. They're a New York sports show. I watched them every day, and I've learned to idolize Michael Kay and Don LaGreca, how they handle themselves on the radio, and they're also announcers as well, thinking that I'd love to do a show and then also be an announce as well. But they're going their separate ways a little bit, and today's the last day of their show. So I'm going to sit back and enjoy the final Michael Kay show. I just like to thank them. There was days where, I work in food service, man. There's days where you just come home and you want to cry. And I turn that on and you forget about everything. You forget about life. For 3 hours, they were very entertaining, had great chemistry. So Michael Kay show will be missed in my life. And I'll hear that they're all staying on ESPN radio, but spreading out. But it's gonna be a void in my life because I watch them every single day. So best wishes out to all of them. They all seem happy about it, but gonna watch the finale show. This is one of our longest shows we've done. But there was so much to cover in Major League Baseball. The news breaking. Is it officially official? The trade is done, according to Bob Nightingale. That was 3, and they're acquiring them in exchange for Paredes, Tucker, and Paredes, Smith, and Wisniewski. So sign it up, and the Cubs have their bat. Everyone have it. That's a great way to go into the weekend. See ya. We'll have to talk Bears Monday and Tuesday. I'm Ryan Yanishadis for the Hello Chicago Network. Comment below. Don't forget. Are you happy about this? Cubs get their guy. White Sox starting to show signs. Chicago baseball. pretty good for December because it wasn't good in the summer. I'm Ryan Yatashadas from the Hello Chicago Network, and we're the focus of Chicago sports.